Welcome back to the Arvo Flow Sports Hour. You're joining Ellis Gelios for a look at the last remaining groups that we're going to preview ahead of the Qatar FIFA 2022 World Cup commencing on Sunday evening or Monday morning, depending on where you are in the world. We've still got 4 groups to take a look at after we looked at groups A, B, C and D last night with Clayton. Johnny Moore now joins me on the line, our round ball expert here on the Flow. Johnny, it's exciting times that we're in just a few days out from the Qatar World Cup. How are you?
Yeah, going well, thanks, Ellis. Great to be talking everything football again. I'm really looking forward to this World Cup. There'll be lots of those EPL superstars that we talk about week in, week out, going over to join up with their respected club or from their nations teams and from their clubs. And yeah, really looking forward to hopefully a really high profile World Cup that won't disappoint. And there's lots of talent on shows, especially some younger hot shots coming through, I believe.
Now let's take a look firstly at Group E, Johnny. Costa Rica, Germany, Japan and Spain. This is by no means an easy group whatsoever. Could even be the group of death, really, depending on how you look at things. To have Spain and Germany in one group is surely a pretty strong argument for that. But then you've got the Blue Samurai of Japan. They are obviously very fondly looked upon from the Asian continent. And Costa Rica, they can very much surprise on their day too, Johnny, back in 2014, getting quite far out of the group stages. So this will be a really, really interesting group to keep tabs on.
Yeah, most definitely. Look, the favourites going into this group would be Spain and Germany to qualify from there. Look, they're obviously higher ranked in their FIFA rankings. And looking at the odds, they're obviously for winning the tournament, they're a lot shorter odds than as you said, the Blue Samurai and Costa Rica. But look, in a World Cup, anything can happen. I think Japan might possibly get a result with one of those, I say, bigger nations in Spain and Germany. Look, their squad's a very fit squad with some definitely technical, astute players that can definitely cause an upset on the day. But look, I expect Germany and Spain to get the job done in that group. And look, not sure who will finish top. I think Spain might just edge it. But look, quite an interesting group from the outside to see what happens.
As you quite rightly say, Germany and Spain will be the favourites to get out. There is no question about that. So let's look at these two. Germany underachieved in 2018, Johnny, but they are a big hitter at the World Cup. There's no doubt about that. One of the strongest European nations throughout the World Cup's history. Now, do they have a squad, in your view, that is strong enough to really challenge at the tournament this year? And will they be stronger than Spain? I know you said you're not sure who will finish top, but it's going to have to be one of them. Of course, these two, the Euro 2008 finalists, they've had their clashes over the years as well. Who do you see getting on top of the other side in this group?
Yeah, look, as I mentioned, I think Spain will finish top in that group. I think it'll be a tight group. I expect Germany to only possibly be narrow behind them on the points tally, but they'll qualify. Look, Germany have got a strongish squad. I don't think it's up there with the likes of Brazil and Argentina. We'll probably come on to it, the likes of sort of Belgium and some of the other big hitters, I'd say, for being the tournament favourites. But look, sometimes being a bit of an underdog, they could be, like I said, go under the radar. And look, I expect them to probably make maybe the quarterfinals, Germany. But I can't see themselves going all the way and making the final or winning. I'm sure those German fans out there will be hoping their team gets all the way. And the same with Spain. I think they're both sort of countries have probably underachieved a little bit, but Spain especially had quite a lot of rebuild stage with a lot more younger talent coming through. They still got a couple of experienced heads in their ranks, but look, I don't think either team, in my view, has the potential to win the tournament. But look, I think both sides have definitely some talented players amongst the ranks.
All right, well, we'll move from what is going to be one really exciting group to keep tabs on at the World Cup to a fairly underwhelming group, I think I can say, with all due respect. This is going to be one of the most unpredictable groups, though, Johnny. Group F, consisting of Belgium, Canada, Croatia, and Morocco. Now, you would say on paper, Belgium probably the strongest side in this group, but Canada have got a few world-class players, and I'm not sure whether... I think this is actually their first ever World Cup appearance, Johnny. And then you've got the likes of Croatia, too, who made the semi-final back in... the final back in 2018, of course, against France, losing out in the end. But they'll go into this with strong memories from 2018. The Croats, won't they, Johnny?
Yeah, most definitely. I think they've got some really astute players that have got a lot of experience in their ranks. I think, look, most of the players there, they've got a lot of experience playing around Europe, so they've got a very strong squad. I expect them to qualify from that group with the likes of Belgium. I think Belgium might edge that one on the top of the group and qualify with them. But like you mentioned, with Canada and probably even Morocco being very much underdogs in that group, their odds of winning the World Cup are a lot higher than the other two clubs or countries, I should say, in this group. But yeah, look, both Belgium and Croatia have got obviously some good rewards at the end of it in terms of could be eventual winners of the World Cup. They've got some players that definitely have probably performed in that Belgium side for a couple of probably tournaments. Hopefully, I've actually pulled them out in a sweepstake at work of winning the World Cup. So for me, I'm going to be behind the Belgian team from that side of things, and they've definitely got some players. But yeah, look, Canada might cause an upset, but I don't believe they'll qualify in that group.
Well, aren't we just on the same page, Johnny? Because I said last night with Clayton that Belgium are my smoky to make a final against Argentina. So we're both getting on the Belgium bandwagon for whatever reason, Johnny, because they have been underachieving for the best part of 10 years at World Cups. I want to ask you about Belgium because I'm interested by the Belgium dynamic in that they've produced so many good players. They've had no shortage of options in, as far as starting 11s and beyond goes in the last decade, but they've really not made anywhere near enough noise. Are they almost at the end of their tether in regards to this so-called golden generation that they've produced? Because when you look at the players that Belgium are putting out or have been putting out for the best part of the last 10 years, and then you rewind, say, 20 years, the gulf in class and quality is just enormous. So surely, similarly to a nation like Australia, perhaps, the golden generation is going to come to an end at some point for Belgium.
Yeah, most definitely. Look, lots of experience in that Belgium squad. Defensive backline, you've got Toby Alderweireld and Jan Vertonghen, who potentially this might be their last World Cup, especially in their sort of 30 or mid-30s age bracket. Kevin De Bruyne is a world-class talent, like we see week in, week out with Man City, and he's another one that's getting obviously on the older side of things, but he's no young spring chicken anymore. Look, Lukaku has been probably a real standout in probably Serie A in terms of the seasons he had there, but obviously in the EPL, he probably hasn't lived up to all expectations with his time at probably Chelsea and Man United. Look, but he's got the firepower to definitely get the Belgium sort of sides onwards and upwards. But yeah, that golden generation, like you talked about, this might be quite a few of them last World Cup. So hopefully it's a big hit for them, and hopefully they can go all the way. And like I said, both you and I will be sort of supporting them in the back line, right behind probably for me England and Australia. But look, yeah, hopefully they can get the job done.
We'll see what happens. Now, taking a look at Group G, this contains the highly fancied Brazil, 5-time winners, of course, and highly fancied to go on and win the Qatar World Cup are Brazil. But what I find interesting here is that I don't think any of the following three sides in Cameroon, Serbia, and Switzerland will be easy to beat, Johnny. What are your views on that?
Yeah, look, most definitely. I think the Brazil talent in their whole squad, I think we've probably looked at and spoke about most people close to me in terms of they could put a starting 11, their reserves, or even sometimes their third 11 out on the pitch, and they would probably be for a challenge for any country side. But look, being the favourites going into this one, a lot of expectation on their shoulders, but I'm sure with the players they've got, they have probably the confidence. There's probably a little bit of aggression or swagger, you might say, with the players, but sometimes that's a good, healthy thing, thinking you're the best team, and you have that belief that you can go out and beat any team. So look, they'll go in strong favourites, and obviously the bookies fancy them as well. The other team in that group, I expect Brazil to qualify, first and foremost, but the other teams in that group, I think it's a real open bag. I think Serbia have obviously got an outside chance. I think Mitrovic has been firing for Fulham domestically, so he's one to look out for. Switzerland have got a very sort of solid squads, and Cameroon could cause an upset on their day and potentially sneak through. I'm actually going to tip Switzerland to narrowly go through that group with the likes of Brazil. But look, that group for me has got a lot of interest in terms of, I think, the other sort of games. Say Serbia versus Switzerland, or whether they're Cameroon versus Switzerland. I think they're going to be some really interesting games for the neutrals to watch out for.
And Group H, the last group for us to take a look at, this features Ghana, South Korea, Portugal and Uruguay. Most people, I think, Johnny, won't be very divided on this. I think the favourites will be the two Latin sides, Portugal and Uruguay, or the two sides from the Hispanic world. So is there any chance that you disagree with that, Johnny?
No, I'm completely with you on this one, Ellis. I think Portugal and Uruguay, definitely the favourites in that group. I'm not being disrespectful, but I don't think Ghana and the Korea Republic will put up much of a big opponent. I'm sure there'll be still close, potentially, games in them, but I expect the other two favourites in that group to qualify. And look, I think one of those two could be a dark horse potentially to go on and cause an upset. But I think both sides have got some talented players, especially the firepower up front for Uruguay, and the same with Portugal. Really, I'm sure there's some exciting players to watch in both those two countries.
Uruguay are interesting, Johnny, because they're always sort of viewed as the dark horse in South America. They haven't really done a whole lot at a World Cup since a long time ago, back during the first ever World Cups, in fact, in the 1930s. But they're always bringing a pretty strong squad to the World Cups that they qualify for, since they didn't last make it back in 2006. They've always had a pretty formidable outfit for mine. So do you think people underestimate Uruguay, and do you reckon they could possibly finish top of this group?
Oh, look, I think there's obviously plenty of nations that can win this tournament, and they're definitely one in there. I don't think they're going to win it themselves. Look, most of the South American probably talk always goes probably with Brazil and Argentina. I think the two heavyweights for many years, even if they haven't, say, won the most recent World Cups. They're still going to have the most talking points, just because that's the sort of, I guess, the pedigree that's come with the clubs, or I say the countries over the years. But Uruguay, sometimes you sort of go under the radar, and they might, like I said, get to the quarterfinals. When it gets to the knockout stages, anything's possible. Sometimes, like I said, they'll go a little bit further than probably anticipated, and other times they might get knocked out. And like I said, it's kind of up to the, as they might say, up to the gods, whether they can get through those final hurdles. But look, I don't expect them to win it, but they've got a good chances like the other club countries out there.
Well, Johnny Moore, thank you for speaking to us, our resident football expert. Enjoy the World Cup. Great to preview some of these groups with you. We'll speak to you next week once the action gets underway.
My pleasure as always. Can't wait for the World Cup to get started, and best of luck to all the countries out there and all the fans. Go and sit down, put your feet up, enjoy this tournament, and hopefully there's some cracking games and some cracking goals and to look forward to.